Outbound is a cozy open-world camper van survival game where you explore, craft, farm, and slowly turn your vehicle into a moving home. But it lacks a native macOS version, so I had to try some workarounds that I am going to tell you about next. I'll cover the solutions that I consider best and give you some tips, then I'll go over some other alternatives you may also like. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. The first one is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Boosteroid is a good fit for Outbound because of how easy it is to start playing, and because the game doesn't rely on quick reactions and precise timing. Also, the current local play options for this game are a bit shaky, which makes cloud solutions stand out. With Boosteroid, your Mac mostly just needs a good connection. With stable internet, you get a much cleaner experience than trying to force high settings locally through a compatibility layer. The game's slower exploration pace makes cloud latency pretty much unnoticeable, and in my tests, I virtually saw no image compression while streaming Outbound over a 50 megabit Wi-Fi. Obviously, if your internet is slow and laggy, the image quality will degrade, and you will face more delay, but that's a given with any cloud. In my experience, the game ran pretty much flawlessly with Boosteroid, and this is definitely one of the better methods to play it on a Mac. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. Crossover is the local root go-to option, but with Outbound, the experience isn't ideal at the time of making this video. On my M3 Max MacBook Pro with 36 gigs, I expected the game to run like butter since it's got pretty modest requirements, but what I got was some pretty heavy stutter and frame pacing issues in some areas. When the game was stable, I got roughly 45 to 60 FPS at medium settings, which, again, isn't ideal for such a light game. The bottle config I used was D3D Metal and MSync enabled, but you can also experiment with DXVK to see if that works better for you. For a baseline, I'd want at least an M1 Pro with 16 gigabytes. But even though the current state of this method for playing Outbound isn't great, I still recommend it because I have high confidence that the next crossover patch will give us the right performance, making this a highly viable way of running the game locally. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. Whether you choose to go cloud or local, I recommend applying the next settings adjustments to either lower the cloud image compression or the performance in Crossover. Start by setting render scale to 90%, then shadows to low and level of detail to medium. Those are the settings I touch first when driving through wide open areas starts feeling uneven. The goal is to keep the image clean rather than chasing every visual setting. And if you need further improvement, try the other suggestions shown here. The other methods are a variation of this theme. GeForce Now is the best cloud solution with all the bells and whistles, but at double the price of Boosteroid, it's just not worth it, except for a handful of games which can use the latest and greatest effects. Like Boosteroid, it's very easy to use. You just need to register, get a subscription, download its app, and start the game from it. xCloud is Microsoft's cloud solution, and it's by far the worst of the cloud solutions mentioned here, but it comes with the benefit of being free if you subscribe to Game Pass. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I choose between the different options for Outbound. Boosteroid is the easiest recommendation if you want to play without thinking too much. It gives you a clean cloud setup, avoids the current Crossover uncertainty, and makes sense for a slower exploration game where tiny amounts of latency are not a deal breaker. GeForce Now is the more premium cloud route. Its higher tiers are fancier than the Boosteroid plans, but Outbound isn't really a game that requires 360 FPS or 5K resolution. Xbox Cloud Gaming is the console-style option and is a useful choice if you already have a controller, but I would not put it ahead of Boosteroid or GeForce Now for a Steam-focused Mac player. Crossover is for people who want local play, meaning lower latency and no internet dependency. It is the most interesting non-cloud method, but it needs a bit more time before it becomes as stable for this game as the cloud solutions. Sikarugir is the free but less user-friendly version of Crossover. It basically gives you the same level of performance, but is a lot less intuitive and has a notably lengthier setup. So my simple take is this: use Boosteroid for the easiest experience, GeForce Now if you want the nicest cloud option, and Crossover if you really want the local setup and are okay with waiting for the next patch to improve the current performance. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.